Good morning, guys. Actually, it's not morning, it's afternoon, but it feels like morning to me. I'm a very slow waker. I take ages to wake up, that's my point. Welcome back to my channel, and if you are new on my channel, then welcome. Today's video is something that I am extremely excited about because I have been wanting to test this product out for such a long time. Finally, I can do that. Today's video is going to be all about testing out the new YSL All Hours foundation. Let me tell you, this thing cost me an arm and a leg. No, probably 2 arms and 2 legs. This was... I don't remember paying that much for the 2 Jaclyn ones. Anyway, it was expensive. And I have heard so many great things about this. Apparently, this is one of the best foundations that has come out recently, so that is extremely intriguing to me. I am always looking for the new best foundation. Also, that's off the point, by the way, but guess who didn't dry their hair again? I'm so lazy that I'm actually ashamed of myself. Before we dive into this baby, I want to give you some information about the foundation. It comes in 22 shades, ranging from fair to deep. At least that's what the color selection on the website says. I don't know, maybe the colors are just, you know, not the best in describing what the actual shades look like, but in my opinion there's like just only one deep shade in here. Everything else is basically from fair to medium. The color selection could be better. Okay, so this is what it's meant to do. All Hours 24-hour advanced formula won't cake, dry, flake or fade. Transfer proof, oil free and non-pore clogging. This foundation stands up to makeup meltdowns by combining Move With You flexible pigments and skin loving ingredients for better flawless coverage and skin that feels fresh and comfortable day to night. Instantly blur and erase imperfections, pores, dullness and unevenness. Skin looks flawless up to 24 hours thanks to the highest concentration of ultra-fine oil absorbing pigments that cover and smooth perfectly yet resist fading, heat, humidity, dryness and touch. Finally, this formula is infused with a black tea antioxidant complex for additional skincare that combats the signs of dullness and fatigue while protecting skin from pollution. Wow. This is not even a full ounce. You get 0.84 fluid ounces, which is 25 milliliters. This costs $58 US. I bought this for 52 euros. And I believe when I was checking the price from the John Lewis website, it's around £33.50. That is actually something that I don't understand. I don't know why foundations that are like high-end, really luxury foundations are so much more inexpensive in the UK. I don't understand it, because if you convert £33.50 to like dollars or euros, maybe it's like $40 or something, but it's not even 40 euros. So I really don't understand what the deal is. Wish we had that luxury over here. I know that I look like I'm naked, but please ignore that. I think this is the classiest packaging that they have ever done on their foundations. I really, really like this. It comes with a pump, so it's really handy. The bottle itself is glass. It feels nice and sturdy in the hand. I like the little stripes that they have on the sides, and then it just says All Hours in the front. I have the shade code at the bottom here. Mine is in the shade BD20, which is warm. What was it? Warm Ivory, yes. When I was swatching it in the store, it looked like it was quite light for me at first, but waiting a few minutes, it seemed to get darker. So it's probably a good idea to go for maybe a shade lighter than you are, and then see if it starts oxidizing or not when you swatch it in the store as well, just to make sure that you actually get the shade that matches you. Just in case you are not familiar with how I do these to buy or not to buy videos, on one half of my face I will apply the foundation just on its own without any kind of primers or any setting sprays, any powders, nothing that would aid the foundation to last longer on my skin. And on the other side of my face I will use all those kinds of enhancing products alongside the foundation, just to see whether there's a difference, whether it's going to last on my face longer. I use a beauty blender on one side of my face and a brush on the other side of my face to see which tool works best with this foundation, because you never know. Even though I have moisturized, I am going to spritz my face with a bit of Fix Plus. Also, our friend Mr. Hump is officially going away, so say goodbye, kids. You won't be seeing him again. So I'm first going to spritz this side of my face with the Urban Decay B6 Vitamin Infused Prep Spray. Yes, mine is still in the old bottle because I've had this for ages. And I'm going to apply some primer as well. This is probably no shock to anyone. I'm using the Catrice Prime and Fine Pore-Refining Anti-Shine Base. I was debating whether to use... oh crap, that's too much. I was debating whether to use another primer because I have used this one way too much. But really, because this is a new foundation and I want to give it like the best chance that it's got, and I know that this primer works beautifully. I've tried it with several foundations that I own. It always makes my foundation look really, really nice. And now I'm quickly going to prime my eyelids, use some color corrector underneath my eyes, and set down the primer on my eyes. I'm going to start with just one pump. Okay, one pump is clearly not enough. Let's do two. I'm using a Zoeva 102 Silk Finish. This is just a buffer brush. Let's see how this builds. At the moment, this is like medium coverage. You can still see the fragrances in YSL products is something I will never understand. If you are someone with sensitive skin or you just really don't like fragrance products, I don't know how you're going to like this. I'm almost done with the two pumps. And you can still see my breakouts through the foundation. I do like that it's not too heavy looking. It's like a satin kind of finish. There's a natural glow to it. It's not too matte. Maybe my expectations are a bit too high because I have heard so many great reviews about this. And also the way that my Catrice HD Liquid coverage builds up, I expect so much from foundations now. Before that, I really didn't think that a foundation had to cover up all kinds of blemishes and all that kind of stuff. It just had to even out the complexion, and then you could use concealer to cover up specific imperfections that you need extra coverage with. But after seeing how good the HD Liquid coverage is with everything, my standards have changed. Let's just say it like that. It looks like this specific breakout over here, well, it's not actually a breakout anymore, it's a scar again. It's kind of flaking around it. Other than that, it looks really nice on the rest of my face, except this area, but I basically disregard that area. No matter which foundation I use, it always looks really crappy around this area because I have something called dermatitis. I think that's what it is in English. My skin around the nose and around my eyebrows, there were like little teeny tiny bumps, and they are red and they are really, really textured, so there's no covering them up basically, whatever I do. But besides that, I'm happy so far. I really wish it did offer some more coverage. Let me see if I can build it up a bit more. I'm just taking one more pump. This really isn't covering it up. It doesn't seem to get cakey, even though I have layered this area like 5 times already, which is a positive. I'm giving up. I'm just going to let it be as it is, and maybe I can use some concealer on top. I still have like half the pump left on my hand, so I'm going to add one more. Okay, let me try and dial down the lighting a bit again because it seems to be just way too bright. Okay, I think this is better. I don't know, I wouldn't say that this is like completely full coverage because it doesn't seem to want to cover up the breakout scars that I have on my face, and that is really annoying. I really can't tell a huge difference between the brush side and the beauty blender side. I need to add a bit more because this is only like 1.5 pumps, so I'm going to add one more pump on my hand. Oh, you can see it now so well. See, when I first apply it, when it's fresh, it looks so much lighter. Comparing it to the rest of my face, it gets darker. Why are you not covering up this section, which I really need you to cover up? I don't understand. I think I personally prefer the beauty blender though because it feels more refreshing. This brush side felt more like packing it on. I'm going to give this one more go. I'm going to use half a pump, not even a full pump, just half a pump, which is like this much. No. It's really not a buildable foundation in the sense that you can layer it, but it doesn't cover more. It did cover a bit more compared to when I just had one thin layer and then I put another layer on top. It did cover a bit more, but just the specific kind of areas that need some extra coverage, you can keep layering it and it doesn't seem to cover them up. If you have these kind of specific problematic areas like I do, you can see them from the camera as well, then you're still gonna have to use a concealer for those. So besides the fact that it doesn't seem to cover up the breakout sections on my face, it doesn't feel heavy, it doesn't feel like it's gripping, it doesn't feel like it's drying my face or anything. It looks fresh and glowy. It doesn't even seem to grab onto the dry areas, like the ones that I have around my mouth and my eyebrows. These are my initial thoughts. I want to apply some concealer now so we can see how that mixes with the foundation. By the way, I can still smell the foundation. For the concealer, I'm using my Tarte Shape Tape in the shade Light Neutral. Let's see if it helps the situation at all. I'm praying that this foundation will stay on and it will stay looking good, because I have to go out today. Well, not today, but tonight. I can still see them, at least this one. The rest of them seem to be mushed into the skin a bit more, which is good. I wanted to apply some powder on this side as well. I'm gonna do very little. Oh my God, I'm scared. I'm scared of powders, I really am. I'm scared of, you know, turning my face into this dry Saharan desert. Doesn't seem too bad, right? I think I'm gonna leave it at that. It is currently 2:23 p.m. in the afternoon, so we'll take this as a starting point for this foundation. This is how we're looking at the moment. I'm going to finish up my makeup and we'll see how the other products blended on top of both sides. All that kind of good stuff, we'll see at the end. Okay guys, I clearly took my sweet time finishing my makeup and doing my hair. It is currently 4:09, which means that it's been on for like 1.5 hours already. That's how long it took me to get all of this done. It took me ages to try and do this smoky liner. I have to admit, it didn't turn out the best. I'm clearly not very good at doing a smoky liner, but I wanted to try anyway. I'm quickly going to tell you what I used, just in case you are interested. For my eyes today, I went back into the Jaclyn Hill and Morphe palette. I used Silk Cream first in my crease and then butter. I went in with Smoky but Natural, which is the main thing that you can see on my eyelid, and then also slightly in the outer V, I fused this with Hilster. This last one, which I didn't look up the name of, the black shade in the palette. I used the black shade on the liner to smoke it out. I used the Wet n Wild Megaliner, I believe. For the mascaras, I went in with the usual Lash Paradise and False Lashes Extreme Black. Oh, in my waterline, I used the Wet n Wild Color Icon Kohl eyeliner in the shade Simmer Brown Now. For my bronzer, I used the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer in the shade Bronzer. On top of that, I used the L'Oreal True Match Super Blendable Blush in the shade Barely Blushing. For my highlighter, I was so inspired by my previous video because I had really forgotten how beautiful this is. So I went in with the Starlight Illuminator by Anastasia Beverly Hills. And then, of course, I went over everything with the Givenchy Healthy Glow Powder in the shade number 2. For my lips, I lined them first with the Essence Lip Liner in the shade Femme Fatale. And I used the shade number 7 from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Palette, which is this orangey one. Okay. Who is calling me? Why are you calling me? Oh yay, my book arrived. Anyway, I'm going to spray the MAC Fix Plus all over my face to get rid of the powdery residue, and then I'm going to use the all-nighter on this half of my face only. Everything is looking really good. I use the products that I know are never going to give me any kind of issues, so that if I did have some issues, I know that it was specifically the foundation and not the products that I was using on top. Everything blended out beautifully. Nothing got like blotchy or muddy or uneven. Everything glided on the skin. I didn't see any differences between the prime side and the unprimed side. Everything applied exactly the same. And I have to say that because I was doing a semi-bold eye, which has the black in it and it has the shimmery shades, some of that did fall on my cheeks and I had to clean it up and I had to do it again. I took off the cheek area, reapplied the foundation in this area, but I still had to stipple over the areas where I already had foundation, if that makes sense. I had absolutely no issues. It looks so stunning, even though I was stippling the foundation over powder. In that sense, it is perfect just for, you know, touch-ups, or if you mess something up and you have to remove something, like like I did, then there is absolutely no issue with reapplying the foundation. If I remember correctly, I finished the foundation application at around 1:23 p.m. So that means that the foundation has been on for 5 hours. It is currently 6:23 p.m. It has really melted into the skin now with my natural oils coming through as well. The coverage is all still there. It, funnily enough, hasn't even worn off around my nose, which is surprising since I have touched my nose quite a bit. The foundation hasn't sunk into my expression lines between my eyebrows, which always happens. Another thing that I'm extremely impressed with, it hasn't sunk into my smile lines. Well, it has, but very, very minimally. Normally, I have these huge, deep lines around my mouth because, as I said, this is my problem area. It has sunk into the line a bit more on this side where I haven't primed, so I guess the primer is doing its job on this side. I am liking it a lot so far. Can you see that? Yeah. It's currently 11:30, which means that the foundation has been on for 10 hours, and I am dying to get this makeup off my face, guys. There are a few areas that I can see have some issues by now. Of course, I'm not surprised, but the area around my mouth and my nose are the worst. This area right over here is completely worn off. There is no foundation left. It has caked up majorly around my nose on both sides, but that is so normal. That always happens with every single foundation. So again, this is not the foundation's fault. It's just that my skin is really incredibly crappy around my nose and my mouth. It has separated in this smile line. It's funny because the prime side was doing so much better than the unprimed side, initially at least. And now it has separated on this side, but it hasn't separated on the unprimed side, which is funny to me. I'm still really impressed that the foundation hasn't sunken into my expression lines between my eyebrows. It doesn't look the best on my cheeks either, but again, those are the areas that usually tend to look a bit more textured as well, because I do have some texture on my cheeks. I don't mind that the foundation has completely worn off my chin because I was rubbing it really hard because of my lipstick, which had transferred onto my chin after eating. I do not really see much of a difference between the prime side and the unprimed side. I think my expectations were quite high compared to how the foundation actually performed, but I really can't see anything too negative about it. I think it held up very beautifully. You don't actually need a primer or a setting spray or even a powder to make this last on the face, because let's be honest, it hasn't really worn off on either side. But yeah, it didn't probably blow me away as much as I was hoping that it's going to. I think I need to test it out a few more times and see how it performs with other products, but the first impressions are definitely positive. That's it for me, guys. I am really tired, as I said, so I think I just want to go wash this makeup off. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Other than that, I shall see you guys in my next video. Bye!